How's everybody doing today? Welcome to Cape Snakes. My name is Maddie. Today I just wanted to show you the new pickups that I got last week. January 14th is when they actually came in, I believe. Very pretty, breeder ready. One of them is a proven breeder, the other one is still a virgin, but they're upsize, of course. So let's get into it. First up on the list is this beautiful Mojave. I hope her colors look good on camera. She does have a greenish tint to her, which is kind of unique. Maybe it'll show up in her offspring, maybe it's another gene in there, but who knows? But she looks really good. She is over 1,500 grams. She is the proven breeder. She looks really good, very big. I haven't seen a ball python this big before. Second up on the list is this beautiful cinnamon. Very nice and dark, gorgeous. She's over 1,300 grams. I did say I wanted to try breeding at 1,300 grams per a couple other big breeders. That's what they do. So we're gonna just give it a go. Obviously I have nothing to go off of, so I hope for the best. Looks like she might be going into shed as well, but absolutely gorgeous. Huge shout out to Iowa Family Exotics Rescue. He hooked me up with these two amazing females. He absolutely great guy. Go give him a follow on Instagram. Go check out his morph market. He has some good stuff out there. Amazing guy. He helped me out a lot. Told me a bunch of new tips that I didn't know. But I did just want to touch on something real quick, and that is mites. Mites are a big problem in the ball python world or snake world. They are very much a nuisance. Think of fleas, but for dogs. I had mites once before, and I had a terrible battle with them. It lasted about 6 to 8 months. I did as much research as possible on them. I did many different treatments to get rid of them, but I could never just get the last ones out. Now this happened with not properly quarantining one of the snakes. In fact, it was Claire. She came in with mites, and I knew that getting her. The guy was open about it. He told me I didn't have that much knowledge about mites at that time. And man, it was a terrible, terrible experience. I hope nobody has to deal with mites. But my solution that has worked for me for over a year now is Hot Shots No Pest Strips. Now this is a controversial subject, and I'm being very open about it. This has worked for me. I've used Prevenamite, I've used Nix. I haven't used the Frontline. I've used your over-the-counter reptile mite spray from pet stores. That all worked for me for a little bit. Couple months maybe, but after that it didn't do anything. Now I was doing weekly treatments, and I would soak the snakes in a Dawn dish soap bath, treat their enclosures, treat them. That would get rid of them for the time being, but it always seemed that they would pop up again after I thought I got rid of them. Mites are terrible. Do your research on them. It's not fun, but I use Hot Shots No Pest Strips, and actually I 3D printed these little holders for them to sit inside, just like you see in there and in here. A little bit goes a long way. Use a very little amount. This is not a tutorial on how to use it, so look up some other YouTube videos. I basically just cut it up into little strips and put it in the enclosures. Make sure the enclosure is ventilated. You don't want to just fuming and fuming and fuming and fuming and fuming. You want some ventilation in there. But let me tell you, after putting them in there, within 2 weeks, I had no traces of mites whatsoever. Definitely works wonders. So as you see in the Mojave's tub, I'm using it. That's part of my quarantine system. So once they go in there, mites will just die automatically. The life cycle will just stop, and it's worked for over a year now. With waffles, I didn't quarantine. It's something I missed, a stupid mistake, and that's the second time I've done it. So quarantine your ball pythons when you get the new ones in. I want to figure out a better quarantine process for myself. Just probably an individual rack dedicated to new animals coming in. But I don't really have that space right now. I only have one tub, or I only have one rack to actually put adults in. So that is something to come in the future most likely. If you saw my last video on Bear and Claire's enclosures, the doors, I do have them mounted here obviously, but I know I mentioned I'm going to be building an incubator. That won't happen for a little bit now. I want to save some money, take a break from building, just relax for a little bit, take care of my animals in here, focus on them, and then get back to that. There are a couple more snakes that I want to get in for my future projects that are pretty much a key for my future projects. So there's always something going on, but I just want to talk about that quarantine and mites and whatnot. So if you want to use the Hot Shot Snow Pest Strips, it is a controversial subject and is a very old school method. That's what some of the original snake keepers were doing to get rid of mites. It does work and works very well. Don't use a whole bunch of it, use little strips in small quantities and change it out. I think every couple months or once a month. Bear and Claire are going on probably 3 or 4 months since I last changed it. So still working. I have no mites whatsoever. It's been over a year since I've had mites, and I plan to keep it that way because it is dreadful. And man, it was probably the worst time in snake keeping for me, and it really frustrated me and pissed me off. And there's days it's like, man, I don't even want to deal with this anymore, and thought about just getting rid of the snakes, but I stuck true, kept trying to figure it out, better myself, and I found a method that works for me. That's pretty much all I got to say about that subject, but I wanted to definitely show off the new 2 pickups that I got from Iowa Family Exotics Rescue. That's pretty much going to wrap up this video for today. My battery's about to die, but like, subscribe, do what you got to do. Follow me on Instagram at Cape_snakes508. I hope you have a great day.